All right. How's it going, CAD 101? Hope everyone had a good weekend. It's really beautiful out. Hope you guys got outside. All right, let's dive into some AutoCAD. So, uh, we have talked about setting up drawings in one way, and that one way has been when you're given a part, like let's say this part, you would bring that origin down to the lower left corner. And that is super helpful to do on parts that are square or rectangular or basically stuff that's not round. It's kind of helpful. At certain other times, when you're given a part like this, it makes sense to orient your origin in a different place. So if you have a lot of circles, um, if if you can orient, if it's easier to orient and build your part off of the center, then then go ahead and do so. So this part right here really is based off of a bunch of circles. Um, and so on different parts, you'll use this technique in different ways. So it's a good technique to learn because even sometimes on a rectangular part, you might have a feature that is better to lay out and draw using circles the way we're going to use them on this one. So you're also going to notice that this part only has one view. We are only going to draw one view on this one. So we've had some practice doing 3-view drawings and visualizing 3 views. On this one, we are only going to do the front view or top view, however you want to look at it. I'm going to call it the front view. So we've got our XY origin in the center. And here's what we're going to do. We are going to draw this circle here, and that's going to, that's going to bring us this center circle or cutout. And then we're going to have a construction circle that is also the center point is on the origin, and that's going to help us lay out these other circles over here. So we're going to start with those two, and we'll go from there. So let's kind of take note of these dimensions. So 2.25 and 4.5. And if you print these out, I would suggest printing these out on paper, or if you have a dual monitor, you can set them up next to you. It's super helpful to be able to look at them both at the same time instead of clicking back and forth like I do on this video. So I've got some basic construction lines set up. Um, okay, so we'll start with our main circle, 2.25. And now I've got to go back because I can't remember. Yeah, 2.25 and 4.5. Okay, so I'm going to switch layers to the 4.5. And I'm still on grid snap because I wanted to snap my construction line to that origin. So, and then 4.5. All right, cool. So let's look back at the drawing. So we've got a basic layout for this guy, this little circle here, because if we drew the construction line straight up and we've got the circle, where those two construction lines cross, that is the center point for our circle. Pretty easy. We do, however, need to make another construction line that we offset from this center line down so that we get these crosses right there, these where those two intersections cross. Okay, so that's 1.12. Let's go ahead and offset that. So offset 1.12. Okay. That doesn't look correct. Let's see here. Okay, says that it is. Let's just double check this because I always like to double check my stuff. Yeah, 1.12, that works. Okay. Okay, radius is 4.5, diameter is 9. Okay, so that right there is exactly why you check your work. I just drew the wrong size circle, and something just didn't look right. I forgot to push diameter. So I used to be really crazy about double checking all my work when I worked in the sheet metal industry because we worked with really expensive material and we had a really big laser cutter. And if a simple mistake like that, just orienting or just, dimensioning a diameter when you thought you were dimensioning a radius or vice versa, that could cost thousands of dollars of material. So I want you to get in the habit of being um, very, like checking your work often uh, because it will pay off. There were times when, oh, I drew that inside circle incorrectly. That's why. Let's go back again. Okay, diameter 2.25. Diameter 4.5. Okay, that looks a little more like it should. Okay, so double check your work. If something looks off or strange, it probably is. So your brain is pretty good at identifying things that don't look right. And the more you draw things and compare it to measured drawings, if something doesn't look right, go back and double check or triple check. I used to triple check all the time, and I still found errors after 3 or 4 times of checking. So it can happen. All right. So here's another thing that we're going to do in terms of laying this out. So we've got a circle here, and then we've got an outer radius out here. This outer radius actually shares a center point with this inner circle. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to draw these not as radiuses, but we're going to draw them as actual circles around those. And so we'll have an inner circle and an outer circle, and then we can connect with lines between those outer circles and get our perimeter of our part. So be looking for those relationships, like this. When an inner and outer circle line up, you can draw those in a different way that makes it more efficient and easier to line up. So what we'll do, let me just double check these measurements again. So 0.56 diameter and then 0.56 radius. Okay. So D, enter. Let me do that again. Okay. And then this one we can just do 0.56 because it's going to go off the radius. Okay. We can do the same thing down here. Okay, so this is a great example. So if you notice, I'm looking to get my cursor to snap on this intersection, and it's not. It wants to snap up here with this quadrant. So we're going to go ahead and change our snap settings so that um, we've got, oh, intersection was not on right there. Okay, let's try it again. So D, enter. Then 0.56. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to grab the line tool. And this is a really good time to show you this too. So right now this wants to snap to the quadrant. And quadrant are the four corners of a circle, basically. Not that a circle has corners, but it's snapping to the 4 points that are 90 degrees from each other. All right, so if we really want to snap to the quadrant, or to the tangent rather, tangent is on, but you can see it just automatically wants to snap to the other ones. So let's go ahead and turn a couple off, and that should get us where we need to go. Okay, so now you can see the tangent symbol coming up right there. We'll go here, and then we get tangent again right there. That's exactly what we want. So as you can see, this line is exactly placed on the edge of that circle, right where we want it. Okay, so you can use those same methods to lay out these other circles. Actually, yeah, the other two circles, and then using your, change your snap settings so that it is snapping to the, correct constraint that you want it to. And then you can use your trim tool up here to trim away any unnecessary parts of the gasket that shouldn't be there on your drawing. And be sure to include all the necessary dimensions. So again, we're gonna kind of replicate the dimensions on this drawing and in the layout that they're represented here. So, all right. So it's a you're going to use this later. You're going to in one of the future parts, you're going to use a big construction line that has a shared center point to lay out another feature. So keep this little technique in your tool bag because we're going to be using this later on another part. So this should get you where you need to go, and if not, let me know, and we can answer any of your questions for you. So have a good one. Email me as needed, and we'll talk to you soon.